Good day. This week's discussion will be on the Battle of Dien Bien Phu. The battle was between the French army, including crack airborne French Foreign Legion paratroopers, and the peasant army of the Viet Minh of Vietnam, who wanted independence from French colonial rule. The battle took place from the fall of 1953, culminating in the spring and summer of 1954. The French established a fortified base at Dien Bien Phu, located in a valley surrounded by mountains near the Laotian border, hoping to lure the Viet Minh into open combat and also protect the Laotians from invasion. However, the French grossly underestimated their opponent's capabilities as the Viet Minh strategically positioned their troops around the surrounding hills, transported heavy artillery into the region, largely by hand and by bicycle over very difficult terrain, and commanded the heights, a feat that the French commanders believe could never be done. Scholarship on this battle is large, so therefore it could be construed as diluted in historiography. But the databases for this week's discussion did not disappoint. In my first source I used from the Oxford Scholarship Database, I found an article by Philip Davidson. Dien Bien Phu is located at the red dot on the map. Here is a closer look at the battlefield as is shown zoomed in. Davidson approached his work on Dien Bien Phu with the concept that French military made a series of poor tactical decisions that put them in the situation akin to one of that the Germans found themselves in at the Battle of Stalingrad, and the British also found themselves in at the Battle of Yorktown against the Americans in the Revolutionary War. Dien Bien Phu became a military defeat because the French were cut off from their own over-the-road supply lines, and the Viet Minh forces could choose a time and a place to attack. Davidson argues that the French decided to use Dien Bien Phu to cut off the Viet Minh's supply from China and protect Laos from the Viets. French forces, using combat airdrops, began constructing an outpost from which those further moves could maybe be made, and isolate and cut off the Viet Minh. Davidson asserts that the French were nostalgic for a World War I type of fight and assumed that a large-scale firepower was the way to win a conflict. He recounts how General Navarre, the French commander, claimed that Dien Bien Phu was a, quote, artillery base with strong garrison and open air-land communications, end quote. The author contends that the French were trying to recreate the conditions of the Maginot Line. Davidson finds modern historians confirming this, and the conception about the Dien Bien Phu battle was doomed from the get-go. And as seen on the map here, the Viet Minhs took their time and used the concept of their French foreign operating base as a trap and effectively surrounded the French using the geography to their advantage, thus leading to the French forces' eventual defeat. In the Project Muse database, I found an exciting scholarly review by John Nordell of the book, of which I own, called The Last Valley, Dien Bien Phu and the French Defeat in Vietnam. And that book is by Martin Woodrow. His review was published in the Journal of Cold War Studies, and he lauds Woodrow's extensive research and depth into the detail as he provides on the Battle of Dien Bien Phu. Nordell commends Woodrow for delivering a balanced narrative that captures both French and Viet Minh perspective, giving readers insight into the military and logistical aspects that led to the French significant defeat. Nordell highlights attention to the challenges faced by French forces, particularly in their geographic disadvantage and underestimation of the Viet Minh capabilities. As seen on the map here, the areas in red ovals are the mountains that surround the French. The French never thought that the Viet Minh would be able to overcome these geographical blockades, but the French were very, very wrong. The Viets used the mountains to their advantage and effectively had the high ground and bombarded the French into submission. Woodrow's book is appreciated for combining personal narratives with strategic analysis. However, Nordell suggests that the text, while comprehensive, could be dense to some readers due to the detailed recounting of operational specific and military terms. In the end, French forces were defeated by the Viet Minh, and this saw the colonization of Vietnam come to a close for the French. However, it opened up a power vacuum. The battle had significant consequences, leading directly to the Geneva Conference, where Vietnam was temporarily divided between North and South, setting the stage for later United States involvement in the Vietnam War. United States actually gave arms to the Viet Minh guerrillas during World War II to fight the Japanese, but like I like to say, that's a story for another time. Thank you for watching my video discussion.